Hey everybody, it is Luke. Today I wanted to do a quick video on vibe coding, right? So for those, I don't really have a background per se in coding. I sort of learnt and got into it around about GPT-4, so probably about a year or two ago, and since then, it's probably been about 12 months. I want to say about 12 months. So, since then, I've kind of lived as a developer. Like, my life on a daily basis. So, during the day, I run a real estate agency. I'm a real estate agent and business owner. I own the agency. And any other bit of time, I am developing apps, right? I'm building websites, I'm developing apps, I'm doing everything that a developer would need to do. That just a modern day developer, right? I'm not doing anything different to a modern day developer. I use Claude. I use Codex. I basically do everything a developer does. I didn't go to schooling, but a lot of people haven't anymore. I am what we like to call a modern day developer. Alright, let's just call it as it is. I'm a modern day developer. And I've learnt, and I'm very invested in AI, and I understand what's going on, and I love it. AI has taken over my life. I did a video on OpenClaw. I'm hoping the content over time gets better. It should, I hope. But I wanted to talk about vibe coding. Now, there's probably three main platforms for vibe coding. There's Rourke, which is what we're gonna do today because they're giving away some free stuff. There's Lovable, and then the other one is, I think the other big one is Replit, right? So these are all platforms where you go in, you explain to the AI what you want. Now these AIs claim to be like a one-stop, all-in-one, non-stop, come in, build your app, and you're done in like 20 steps. You're on the App Store, and within 30 to 60 days, you're making 10,000 MRR, which is $10,000 recurring revenue every month. Half of it is all bullshit. It's the fakest, typical, like, I'm a scammer, I'm going to sell you a course, I've never built an app in my life, and it's a load of shit, and you should not listen to it, and it's horrible. It's disgusting, and those people should be ashamed of scamming themselves by pretending they're something fancy and scamming people from their hard-earned money, right? What these apps are, right? And I haven't used them to a massive extent because I build apps in Codex and I build apps in Claude Code, VS Code. They're what I use to build apps. Developing an app. Now, people refer to it as vibe coding because AI is writing all the code, but this is the future of coding. And I'm the next generation of coder who didn't go to school, but is building apps and websites and OpenClaws and MCPs, and I'm building all this stuff with AI. But I'm not vibe coding it. I'm letting AI write the code. Does that make sense? Are people understanding? So Lovable sucks, okay? With all due respect to Lovable, the apps that they make are all like, so they usually use React. That's mainly it, React, right? So they're mainly for websites. If you wanted to make a website, you could go on here, explain exactly what you want. Maybe you can use a template. Like a lot of people are using them, right? And within 10-20 minutes, you'll have a website. Replit sort of does more on the website, the app sort of thing, right? They're sort of going down the agent side of thing where you can build agents, right? and they're not really like, if you go here, business apps, marketing, sales coach, commission plan, tracker, lead and routing. So you're basically building a web app, right? So it's not a Swift or an Android. It's not a native app. Lots of apps are built on React and Flutter and stuff like that. Rorke though, Rorke, the normal Rorke, like not Rorke Max, is basically the same as them. I think I even originally went here before I started building my calorie tracker. When was this? I don't even think this is going to have a date. Not too sure. But it basically made a calorie tracker that you could input food, and it kind of sucked, right? And then that's where I sort of lent, once the food is added, you need to automatically track it. Once you type or use your voice to add the food, it needs to use AI to search for the food. So as you can see, kind of back then tried to vibe code, and vibe coding sucked. Rorke Max came out. Now, Rorke Max is supposed to be next level. Let me bring up the website one more. So what Rorke Max does, it builds in native Swift. So basically what the iPhone apps are made of by Apple. So all native, straight out of the box, right? And you can use watches, you can use Apple Watch app, Vision, widgets, Mac, iPad, anything you can think of, right? They've got it. And they had a weekend free. I don't know if it was a weekend free, but like they have 5 free messages. So I asked my cousin what he wants. He wanted a productivity app. He sent me everything he wants. And I thought, what a good idea to come and make a YouTube video about it. What attracted me the most is I was very skeptical, but you can launch straight onto the App Store. So anyway, let's get into it, right? So I want to create a sleek looking reminders app that has MCP access. It must have a clean, easy to use UI, have MCP access, and be native to iOS using Swift. Rorke Max uses Opus 4.6, right? So it did its thing. It gave me an original version. I asked my cousin what more features does he want. He sent me a massive list. So app builds streaks, stats, positive reinforcement around effort rather than big outcomes. When you avoid a task, you log Y, too big, unclear, boring. All right. So when you're putting a prompt, it auto improves the prompt. I didn't realize that. I just realized that now because what I sent didn't. So Pomodoro study sessions, habit tracker, AI coach, could also implement a list of tasks to share with a roommate, and time daily checklist. So used to vibe code, and I used to always sort of look at the app, at the code, right? Because I wasn't sure, I didn't trust it. I didn't know if the AI was getting it all right and wrong and blah, blah, blah. I used to also have to go old school, and I used to have to copy and paste the whole Swift file, put it into, say, I was using at the time Perplexity, then I moved to ChatGPT, and then I used to get them to go, what's wrong, this is the error, and you used to rewrite the whole thing, or you used to rewrite but a snippet, I'd copy and paste it over. That's how I used to do it, but it got better. Now I don't have to look at the code because the AIs are at that point where it's good. It's good enough that you don't really need to check it anymore. So then we go through, can you review every feature and every element and make sure every single thing works? Did its thing, right? And now the app blocker needs a huge upgrade, needs to be tied to tasks and Pomodoro, and it needs to actually work. Currently you can only blah, blah, blah. All right, so it's gone through and done all these changes. Now, so you've got, and I guess the easy thing is this whole thing runs through a browser, which is insane. Like the fact that it can run through a browser is crazy. Put your task in. Again, I don't know if any of this works. Take the dog for a walk. 9 a.m. recurring daily, send notification. See, there's no date picker, there's no nothing like that, right? Take the dog for a done, alright? So we did it today. Done. 1 of 1. Focus is a focus session, so it's a Pomodoro timer, right? Counts down, you go through it, you can stop it, you can pause it. How was your session? So you can give yourself feedback on how your session. I was super productive. Give it a 5-star, and you can go back and go through your notes and stuff like that. Habits, again, pretty basic. Habit, brush teeth, bedtime, so that doesn't work, 7 times a week, add. Alright, so we've done it today. AI coach, again, I don't actually think it's connected to an AI, so weekly review. Yeah, so it's not really a coach, it's more of like a journal thingy. And then you've got reminders. Again, here's reminders, which is better than the thing at the beginning. So why it's decided to, that makes no sense. But anyway, then you've got things like app blocker. Again, app blocker doesn't work. And then you got the MCP server. Again, I don't know. Again, I don't know how the MCP server works. I'm not going to test it. That's the app. It's pretty good. Like, if you were to use the app and you had no idea and you just wanted to vibe code yourself a app to use personally, run it on your phone, you can press this little thing here, run on device, and that installs the phone, that installs it straight to your phone, right? Again, I don't want to do it, but amazing. Connects to your phone, lovely. So far so good, right? Where are we going wrong here? Where is the issue? What is wrong with Vibecoding? So, all right, let's go and get this app blocker sorted, right? Enable ad blocking. When I click enable app blocking, it errors saying couldn't communicate. You know what? Let's just use my favorite app. Communicate with our helper function. Whisper Flow, by the way, best app in the world. While we're also here, because we've only got another 2, maybe another one. I don't even remember using one. Also, replace it today with the reminder screen, but add the daily checklist at the very top and have reminders down below. So you can one of 2 screens here. Actually, no, scrap that. Just replace today with reminders. So move the reminder screen today, and we can remove the reminders from the more section. And make sure when Pomodoro timer is active, it automatically blocks social media apps on the device. So let's all fix this up. Yes, I use Grammarly. It's my favorite app. Replace it today with the reminder screen, but we can probably go here. Today view with reminders, and when I click on the app blocking, it says can't communicate with helper. Yeah, right. Okay, apparently I can't. I'm stuck. The concept is fine. You've got a couple of really good models here. You can add payment screens. You can add like things in the device, sensors, gyroscope, pedometer, location, maps, battery. Like you can add features. You can add AI, image, analyze image, generate image, text gen. So they've made it really easy for people to come in, make an app. However, and then you can publish it to the App Store, like app info. Great, amazing, right? My issue, right? If we go to Rock pricing, free, 20, and 200. You get 100 credits. Now, each message is 100. Each message is 1 credit, and then you get 5 max requests a week, and you get 200 month, right, you get 1K credits, right? Oh, so that's the Swift. Okay, fair enough. Great for any Apple game, right? You get 1K credits, you get Opus, right? The thing that I have an issue with is, it's gonna sound silly, but it makes sense. Rourke equals 200 a month for 1K credits, right? If we go to, what's the convert? I think it's $200 a month, right? For $200 a month, right? So Claude equals 200 a month for 20x, right? 20x, the standard limits, right? So the problem with these apps is you have, right? You have Rourke. Then Rourke needs to buy the credits from Claude, right? So how does Rourke make money? Do you see? Right? Plus, they have to also, out of your $200 a month, they don't have to pay Claude, right? But then they've got Opus, and then they've got okay, it doesn't work. I'm pressing the wrong button. Then they've got Sonnet, right? But then what they also have, right? What they also have is Codex or OpenAI. Okay, so how are they charging the same amount of money for a how are they charging the same amount of money for way less usage, right? Because if you were to go and use Claude directly, you would essentially achieve the same outcome. You would just use a different app. There would be a lot more steps, but you would end up with a far superior product, because at the end of the day, once you hit that 1,000 messages for the month, you could hit that 1,000 messages in a week, and then you're done for the rest of the month. Where the direct subscriptions come in with Claude and OpenAI is you have a 5-hour and a weekly limit, right? These all get reset. Okay, so once this is done, it doesn't get reset until next month, when this and this both get reset every 5 hours, or alternatively every week, right? So that's my only issue with these vibe coding apps. And they're popular, and I'm sure they're doing great. They can't be making any money, because if you're using the Rourke Max at 1K credits a month, you're sending 10x that with Claude, and all you need to do is spend a week, a month, 2 months understanding how to use Xcode or Kotlin or the Android app, or even what else can you use? Like just Terminal. Most of the time you can just ask the AI, run this on my device, and it'll build the app, it'll run the app, and you can test it on your device. So I don't know. What do people think? Because I can't see the value in these apps. Like, I can't see the value. And I understand that no one in AI is making money at the moment. I get that. I understand. But how does Rourke make money when they charge the same amount that both these companies do, right? But they obviously give less usage, which they have to. But I don't get it. I don't get it. The product is good. It's just the cost of doing business is high. Plus, I think the biggest disappointing thing is you don't own the code. Right? That's the biggest thing. You don't own the code. Right? There's no way to take your code with you. Right? Like, maybe, if we do this, can we open up a little text box? Alright, so you can copy the code, but you're gonna have to go into each and every file and copy paste the code into your app, into VS Code, whatever you use to create it. You're gonna have to create each individual file. Like, that's nuts. That is nuts. But hey, I mean, if that's what people want to do, that's what people want to do. I think there's much better ways to do it. And if you're just looking to build a website, go for it. But me personally, I could send 100 messages just reiterating this screen with Codex and Claude. Now, I have the $20 plan on both. I'm about to update to the $100 plan on Claude, and probably the $100 plan when that comes out on Codex, right? And I will have basically an unlimited supply of AI. And I can code infinitely without worrying ever about usage. And I can send 1,000 messages to customize this screen to get it perfect and not have to worry about usage. I don't know. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.